Welcome back to episode number 3 of the Average Men's Podcast. We got a stacked show for you. We got all 4 boys on today. We got Gage, Carson, myself, and Jackson. Boys, what's up?
Nothing much. Just thought we were going to do a little conspiracy theories for today.
It's a nice cold day in Wisconsin.
Very cold day.
So what better way to stay inside?
Snowy
cozy,
outside, yeah.
Nice and cozy.
Cold.
Talk about some conspiracy theories in the heat of this nice house.
We'll get a fire going.
Yep, got a fire going in the background.
So the one reason I really wanted to bring up, conspiracy theories and all this and all that is because we can really get kind of debating on which one's most believable, or it kind of gets you it gets your brain going to think about stuff, and so we're not talking about the same boring oh yeah, what's your favorite food and type stuff. We can actually kind of get into some deep topics. Other people have thought about some of these conspiracy theories. So what we're going to do is each of us are going to present a different conspiracy theory. We'll give our little thought on it. We'll kind of go around the circle, present it to all you guys, and then we'll debate which one's most believable, and then hopefully at the end you guys can pick for yourself which one you think is most believable.
I guarantee a majority of you guys have already heard of these, so you guys can relate to it. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, and I heard you talking about food, which is something more regular, and I remember earlier this week, because it's Thanksgiving, you put something on Snapchat asking people what their favorite Thanksgiving food was, and I wanted to hear the results of that.
It was mashed potatoes by far.
What?
Yeah, it was. It was so mashed potatoes.
With gravy or without?
It was about half and half, but I just kind of tallied them as one because...
So how many people did you ask?
I sent out 100, so I wanted to get it nice so I could go 50%, whatever. So if I had 50 Snapchats, I knew it would be 50%. So I sent 100 Snapchats out. I didn't get 100 Snapchats back, but I'd say I probably got 75, and close to 50 of them were mashed potatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, it was a lot of mashed potatoes.
I thought it would be turkey. That's what I said.
What
Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving without turkey?
It was between stuffing, mashed potatoes, and
my grandma's stuffing is my favorite. Yeah. So
dude, you know they have a White Castle recipe with the stuffing?
I heard that actually.
Yeah, you mash up the buns and the meat and the onions. I don't know.
Yeah,
White Castle's so good. How could it not be?
Never been there, but
You've never been there?
Nope.
No, me neither.
Yeah, well, you're missing out.
All right, who wants to start with the conspiracy theories?
Well,
first?
I thought that if we're talking about English colonists and Turkey Day, you might have to think about the English colonists of Roanoke in 1587.
That was a good transition.
That was a great transition.
I know.
Wow, that was not scripted
So
at all.
basically, in 1587, there's these 115 English. I'm just going off memory here. 115 English colonists that settled on Roanoke Island by North Carolina, and I think there was Indians on the island that they knew of, but they were big inhabitants of 115 colonists, and they had a leader, John White, I think his name was. He had a wife and a daughter on the island, and basically he was gonna go back to England to get some more supplies for the colony because they were running low. I don't know if it was winter or something, but he goes back to England on this ship voyage by himself, which didn't make any sense. But how do you ship by your whatever? And he goes back there, and the Spanish Armada are in a naval war with England, so the Queen Elizabeth I, I believe, she sent him to fight the Spanish Armada for a couple years, and then he came back and didn't have the supplies, but he came back, which I don't get because it said he forgot his food or something, whatever. But he came back. The moral of the story is he came back, and in 1590 back to the island, and no one was there, and the only thing that he had for evidence was what was the word written on the wall?
Was it crow?
It was Croatoan. So Croatoan, Croatoan. I think that's how you say that. Which means I don't even know what it means. Something. I saw it somewhere.
So
it means talk town or council town, which is probably a bad translation, but
So the conspiracy theory is how did
115 colonists leave the island? Apparently, like Native Americans, that was like the big thing is that they either killed all of them or they captured them or something. I don't know. 115 people are gone.
Well, for like 3 years though, right?
Yeah, he was gone for 3 years.
But when they're talking about the settlement, like, does that include the buildings? Like, so yeah, 150
there was
people
buildings,
but the buildings were gone too, right?
I don't know if the buildings were. I have no idea.
It's just.
I don't think the buildings were gone.
Oh, they were still there.
Because it said that the word Croatoan was written on a fence post, so that means
okay.
that like a fence. Structure should be there.
So 115 people gone. Boom.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to them?
I don't know. What do you guys think? I have no idea.
I'm guessing, if I were to guess, it'd probably have to be that a Native American tribe went in and took them out.
But there were no bodies, right?
Yeah,
I don't think
there was no bodies.
No bodies.
And I'm not saying I don't think that they just went in and like just killed all of them and then left them. I think they like went and captured them and then took them back, you know.
Made them build teepees and shoot buffalo.
Yeah. In the south shores of North
Because
Carolina.
it was in 1587, so they must have had guns. So how did they not defend themselves? So maybe they acted in the night.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's
an
interesting
interesting.
one.
So who did you say they were at war with?
No, the England was in war with the Spanish Armada.
What if the Spanish Armada somehow found them on the island and took them back?
I mean, that was like pretty far away, but
I mean, it could happen though.
Could have.
it could have, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a theory, right? It's conspiracy.
That is, yeah.
So they could have been captured during that war, that naval war. They could have scooted by that island and whoa, there's some English people. We're taking them.
Yeah, but I don't think that's like anywhere close to that. But yeah, it could be.
Hey, could
That's
be.
the beauty about conspiracy theories. You can think of it
For my
however your
next-
brain would like.
It's true.
My conspiracy ties into this. Watch this transition.
I'll hear it. I'm gonna watch
What if
it.
aliens were involved?
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Okay. Hear me out. Have you ever seen Ancient Aliens?
Check me out, right?
Check me out.
Ancient Aliens?
Ancient Aliens on the History Channel,
Mhm.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so it's a show about throughout history how aliens may have been tied in to the development of humans and whatnot. And I actually distinctly do remember a Roanoke Island where, like an episode on Ancient Aliens where they kind of described how aliens could have been tied into it, like abducted.
Oh, I do remember that.
It could have been like
Yeah.
abducted.
I think it's selling, yeah.
Because they had some meaning behind it, because it was like they tied in really well to like how it was almost impossible at that time to have no documentation of anyone leaving. They scoured the island for like bodies or any like equipment, nothing. Everyone was gone. Every trace, like they never existed. So they thought that it's pretty probable that aliens could have like abducted them or like taken them somehow and just left, because you know you're not very mobile in the 1500s other than boat, and that probably would have been discovered by now if there's a crashed boat in the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Could have tied that back. There's no trace of them at all. So I'm saying, this is my conspiracy. I'm going to give it broad and then we can dive into it.
Okay.
Are aliens real? I think so. I think maybe not aliens, whatever that term means, but I do think that there are other forms of life, and I think that they are more intelligent. It's got. I mean, to me, if you've ever seen any videos of the breakdown of how big our galaxy is, I mean, it is
There has to be
unbelievable.
some
It is
extraterrestrial
an understatement to say that our galaxy is a grain of sand on a beach. That's an understatement. It's bigger than that. I mean, that's unbelievable. You cannot tell me and look me in the eyes and believe what you're saying, that there's no other life form in the galaxy.
Yeah. I think if you say that, you're just, I mean, I don't want to be like harsh on anybody, but like, you got to take a broader look at it and be like, yeah, because like you said, there's so much out there that we can't even comprehend to think of how big it is.
Yeah.
So like, to even think that there's no possibility at all that there's nothing out there and we're the only other like smart beings that can fly around on these cool planes and whatnot, it's just kind of, I don't know.
I mean, life on Earth has been around for billions of years, and even once humans are gone, which will happen eventually, there'll continue to be billions of years of life, and I think that somewhere in our huge universe there's some other area or planet that's somewhere along that time frame of billions of years.
Well, you think about it, like, how long ago do we think that the Earth was in the center of our solar system?
Yeah, I mean
200 some years, right? Like 1800.
Yeah.
Like, we obviously, the world does not revolve around us. Like
Mhm.
everything doesn't revolve around us, around the center of the universe.
And like another interesting thing is like, so there obviously wasn't, social media back in the 1800s, 1700s, but there are constant paintings, like oil paintings. There's like a super famous artist that has a painting of just like these little gray faced, big eyes, tiny mouth. Like, it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like, how do you come up with that?
Yeah.
Because no one's talking about aliens. So and then
Was
there's
this like a long time ago that they
like a super old oil painting, and then there's like the classic Egyptian
Yep.
inscriptions on the pyramid inside the walls where they got those crazy alien looking figures and UFOs. I mean, it's just like it's too big of a coincidence for it to not be somewhat untrue.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like across, it's not in one area, right? It doesn't all happen in North America. It's everywhere in our world. Everywhere. Goes from Asia, Europe, North America, Australia. There's things everywhere. Sightings everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, humans are like the most powerful like life force on this earth, pretty much.
Yeah. And I mean,
World.
there is literally, I actually just remembered this too. There is an article that the government just put out where it's them on like, I think it's like a spy plane of some sort, and they literally admitted, and they released it to the public, you can look at it. There's literally, they confirmed that there was an unidentified object that they caught on camera, and it's literally a UFO.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like in black and white, so it's like at night. I mean, if the government says it, like unidentified object, I mean, I'm sure that
that's saying UFO.
I mean, that they're saying right now that they just saw an alien or whatever's in there. They saw an unidentified.
Like, do you know what unidentified object
Yeah
stands for?
It's-
UFO.
Yeah, exactly.
But is your argument that
That was the other way around.
there's weird green aliens with tentacles for arms flying around, or is your argument that somewhere else in the universe there's little microorganisms that are alive?
No, I think they're not necessarily the green tentacles aliens. Those little horror movies you see.
Mm.
I'm thinking that there's more intelligent life, and they are humanoid like hybrids, like close
Okay.
to us, bigger heads maybe, smaller heads. Who knows? No one knows. There's not a skeleton of one that we know of.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. That's mine.
That's your
So,
Do
theory.
you think that the aliens could have granted us knowledge, and that's why we're so powerful in this world? And that's
Yeah.
why we run the world, pretty much.
I
Like,
don't
look at everything
I don't
else.
say run the world, but I do think that there are certain things that aliens could have helped past people with.
Yeah, because like if the Mayan or the Egyptians were talking about UFOs and stuff, they definitely would have had contact. Or something.
Yeah. And there's ancient aliens, like, I mean, that show, I swear to God, if you watch it from start to finish and you told me that they weren't real, I'd say that you're a madman. Because I've seen my fair share of episodes, and I can't really dive into anything deep because it's been a while since I've seen them, but I even remember things about, like, the Atlantic Ocean, how there's so much is undiscovered,
Yeah.
and how it goes so deep that, there could literally be life, not even necessarily aliens, but there could be life in our ocean that we've never seen, that they can just go up and down through it wherever they want, as deep as it, like, stuff like that. It's just crazy. I just think that my argument is that there's intelligent life, humanoid life, somewhere, human-esque people, animals, whatever, that are intelligent. They're living somewhere, possibly among us, possibly not. No one really knows. But there's many sightings. It's kind of hard to not think that that's true.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, that's my view. I know there's some people that might be listening to me like, you're crazy. But that's fine. That's the beauty of it. It's conspiracy.
Well, it's
It's not hard evidence.
It's good.
That's
It's what you want to believe.
that's what I'm
kind of.
saying.
A little bit of that. What do you want to believe?
that classic poster of the UFO where it says, "I want to believe." It's like that little UFO.
Exactly. What do you? If you're talking about galaxies and stuff, what do you think that like? You think it's more important for us to expand outside of our world, or do you think we need to know what's on our planet to begin? Like, first of all, what do you think is more important? What should we focus our money and power and knowledge on?
I think it's pretty explanatory that we should probably focus on what's here.
Yeah.
Right, because our technology isn't that advanced. Like, if we can't even technically colonize Mars, and that's in our solar system, so why go out of it?
Or, yeah, why are we trying to move when we can?
Well, I feel like, well, this isn't even really on topic, but I feel like we need to like work on our Earth, you know, figure out what we're doing here,
Yeah.
fix it up, you know, clean it up a little bit.
Before it turns into a Wall-E situation.
Yeah, there's gonna be little walls making garbage cubes.
We're gonna be all fat on the big space.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Space
Hoverboards, you know, all those.
Isn't there like the statistic that like, oh, we know or we've seen a higher percentage of the moon than the ocean or whatever? I thought I've heard that before.
Oh.
Like there's more undiscovered
Oh,
area.
sure.
Yeah.
Of
I don't
the
know,
ocean.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Because there's parts that are so deep, submarines haven't even been able to like go to the bottom because
Yeah.
the pressure would destroy any equipment on it,
Yeah.
which is crazy. No, I think it'd be very interesting that hopefully sometime in my life that there will be a fully documented like inch by inch of like our whole ocean and of every creature that have been seen. I think that'll be so cool. I mean, there's fishes you see every day. Newly discovered fish washed up ashore, naming it the blah 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 fish. I mean, it's like what?
Yeah.
And there's thousands of species of like fish.
Mm.
I think that's interesting. I like that too, but
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take it back a notch and kind of work in my conspiracy theory here, and it kind of connects off yours, Gage, with the aliens and the government. It's kind of connected with the government not wanting these UFO sightings and these UFO different conspiracies floating around. And there's actually a movie with my boy Will Smith called Men in Black.
My boy was.
And what actually happens is, so we have these old farmers or these fishermen that are out either late at night or early in the morning, and they'll see these UFOs, and what happens is before they even end up inside, there's already these government officials, and there's 2 or 3 different stories that I have pulled up. But there was this guy out fishing, it was June 27th, 1947, this is off history.com, so off your ancient aliens. And what happened was there's this fisherman, he was out fishing, and he saw this item or this UFO up in the air, and by the time he got to his house or this diner that he was going to eat dinner at, there was this guy in a black dress suit with a black hat, and he was just pale faced, and he knew what he had seen, and he knew that his name's Harold Dahl. He knew that Mr. Dahl, he knew basically tale to tale of what happened and what he had seen, and he said he can't tell anybody else or something's really bad gonna happen to him. And then that also happened to another guy. He came to his house actually and told him that like if he spreads this story, like he's gonna have to do something about it. So these Men in Black out, it's cool to see because there's a video somewhere where these 2 guys in black ties walk into like the store on the I don't know if you guys ever seen that
like bank or whatever.
Yeah, and they like follow this. They like follow a chick into like an elevator or something like that. And but it's very interesting to me to see. You know, they made the movie Men in Black, but like to actually maybe see like there's either government officials or maybe they're like UFO aliens that are trying to dress up as humans to pretend as government officials, to try to hone down the UFO talk amongst, you know, us humans or something like that. But I tend to not believe it as much because I feel like you can totally set up a story to make it sound like, you know, this guy came and talked to me and told me he was going to kill me. But, you know, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it and see, like, do you guys think that, I mean, it can be a definite thing, and I believe that it could be a thing, but how believable do you think these stories actually are?
Okay, so he obviously told the news reporter or whatever, but so what happened to him after he told him? Like, did he die because of like soon after? Or
Yeah, I don't.
You probably don't know.
That's what, there's not much out there, and
that's
that's
the
why
same with
it's
my
kind of
side,
hard to
yeah.
believe, you know. But there's 3 or 4 stories that I've seen that kind of corroborate with the, you know, the black tie and the black hat and kind of the pale face. So I think what needs to happen is there needs to be more than like 3 or 4 stories. Otherwise, it's just kind of like this thing that you can set up, But
and the term fabricated can get thrown pretty easily around, where a story can get, stretched, or things can just get left out, and then it switches and changes, gets stretched out. So, I think it's important to keep. I think there's nothing more important than like video proof or picture proof.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually, now that there's crazy editing software, you can make anything look real, right?
Yeah.
I saw a video where someone changed like a slice of pizza into a model.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. But
I saw it.
yeah. But so I think it's important that small amounts of stories stay as true to themselves as they can. That way, like, the truth sticks with it. It doesn't get lost in the translation of 15 people telling other people, and then before you know it, it's this alien was in this bank, and it was it can get that way. So I think it's interesting that, but I even heard about that where it's like they walk in, and the people said that they have like crazy like flushed skin, like bright lips, and like like no eyebrow hair almost. Stuff like it's just crazy. It's kind of creepy to think about. I wouldn't want to see anyone that looked like that. It'd be kind of creepy, but
like honestly, you believe that if like a big kind of story came out where there's hard factual evidence, video evidence, there's pictures to back it up, and all of this that is obviously not looking like it's edited or anything like that. I think that if that went viral, that'd be really believable, and that would.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a wake up call. I think people would. Either start to believe more or like...
And who says this hasn't happened already? Like, who says this happened, but the government took it down like a second?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. No, and there is I forgot his name, but there is a person that actually worked at Area 51 that whistleblew a government, what was it, like the UFO, like, plane that they were developing? Like, the government was developing, like, a flying saucer, and they had, like, a blueprint, and he whistleblew it, and he put it all out to the public for probably some money of some sort. And it's crazy. To this day, there's a whole documentary on it. I believe it's Netflix or just a movie. I wish I knew his name so you guys could look it up if you were interested. But I know that they actually like erased his name. Like he went to college and his social security number doesn't exist anymore. He has it with him, and if you look it up, there's nothing.
Oh my gosh.
And he went to college. There's no documentation of him having a college or high school career education, and there's people that lived in his dorm. They're like, yeah, I went to college with him. Like, what? And there's like no, like even their college doesn't recognize him as a graduate. It's crazy. Like, there's definitely stuff that.
Some creepy stuff.
Yeah, there's some creepy stuff going on.
So those angry people on Facebook wanted to storm Area 51 in September or whatever it was. But
can't stop all of us.
Yeah,
that was a theory, but clearly.
Yeah, clearly you can.
Didn't work.
They got alien guns.
All right. Well, my conspiracy theory, before we kind of debate which one is the most believable, is that Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, or someone who has been a long-time writer on The Simpsons, is a time traveler,
this one's a good one.
Or has an advanced ability to predict things very accurately. Now,
ESP.
I have a ton of examples here of stuff that they've actually predicted that's like pretty weird. But The Simpsons, they've made 30 seasons of shows.
Yeah.
And a lot of predictions. Most of them are wrong. But then they have a couple of them that are right. But most of the ones that are right are pretty weird. So the one that kind of spiked everyone's interest is Trump's presidency. Which they predicted 16 years before he was elected. And I think everyone's seen the escalator thing where he's going down the escalator.
That is crazy.
That's a little creepy.
It's too accurate.
He does
the same thing.
Yeah, he's waving and
he turns his body the same way.
Yeah.
They did like a side by side. It's the exact same thing. It almost makes me wonder though, like did they do it on purpose?
And that's the other flip side is that did some of the stuff The Simpsons said, did people watch that and say, hey, we can make this happen?
Yeah.
Another huge one that happened recently is Disney buying out 21st Century Fox, which was a huge thing. They predicted that in 1998. It happened in 2017, which was a $52 billion buyout, which is huge in the in the industry, because at that time Fox was such a huge company.
Yeah.
It's a weird prediction, but it did come true. Another one is the Super Bowl in 1992, 93, and 94. They were all predicted in 92 who would win those three. They got 3 for 3. They predicted
That's
3 Super
crazy.
Bowls in a row.
That's-
Another one, which is huge, which I just read about when I was kind of looking into more of this stuff, is the Higgs boson particle. Big science thing. I don't know what it is, but they predicted it in 1998.
Oh, isn't that like the God particle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the particle that created
Scientists
life.
Yep.
figured out the equation in 2012. On the show, they made an equation that Homer Simpson came up with, supposedly. It was the Higgs boson particle. And from that equation, once they kind of solved what it actually was, it was ridiculously close compared to what at the time they didn't have that information.
Yeah.
And he was ridiculously close in his guess. And I want to see if I can find. Let's see if I can find how much money they spent.
This is one of those examples where it's like, if they do it 2 or 3 times in 30 seasons, it might just be a coincidence.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of
20
times.
or there's like 20 or 22 examples or something in there where they get it almost spot on, and then and it's crazy because it's like 10 years early too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
It's
a lot
hard
of them
to
are kind of in
there's-
that range.
I don't know anything that I could confidently predict right now that would happen in 10 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't even say Super Bowl. I would have no
Average
clue.
Men's Club getting 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
That's up for the people to decide. But, all
Do you
right.
think that, I mean, obviously it doesn't work for, like, the particle and all that equation stuff, but do you think that, like, Fox would have gave Trump money for doing, like, remaking that thing, and that it would have gained more attention to The Simpsons because of that?
And there's always a chance it could be, yeah.
There's another conspiracy.
There's another conspiracy, yeah.
And inside the conspiracy, there's another conspiracy.
Another point that because I was about to do this one too, and then I just kind of switched to the Men in Black one, but the writer, what was his name again? I forgot.
Matt Groening.
Yeah, so he also is a writer or a director or something on a show called Futurama.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Oh, does he do that one?
Yeah, he does that one too. So I just think that's kind of ironic that we might say that he's a time traveler and he writes the show called Futurama. But
Yeah.
I think time travel could be possible. I mean, I think time travel in the future could be possible. I don't think in the past. I forgot it was like a 6th grade writing prompt or something on like a state test, and it was about time travel. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of believable, but I forgot what it was. It was like some statement that was like,
Yeah.
you can go into the future, but you can't go into the past. But yeah, I think the fact that it's 20 different, examples of almost spot on things that they predicted or kind of figured that could happen in the future. It's just very weird not to think that he didn't time travel or didn't have some ability to look into the future,
I think I'm going to go with that he has a unbelievable ability to predict.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if he's time travel esque, but I think that there's a crazy, there's some people that are really good at like predicting.
Yeah.
It's just luck based on. It's all luck. You just gotta perfectly guess something basically, but I don't know. I'm gonna go.
No, I don't think you can guess that. I don't know, dude. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I don't know. I'm tied 50-50, but I feel like play devil's advocate. I'm gonna say he's a really good guesser.
Okay.
I mean, there have been over 600 episodes of The Simpsons. That's a lot of content to throw in there.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
He's like toying with us. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in this.
let's say he put in one weird prediction in each episode. That's 20 out of 600 that he got correct.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
some of the ones you did get right are...
Like Gage said,
Are
he's
really
toying
out
with us.
there.
He can't get them all right, or
You
else
can't
the
get-
government will be onto him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta do a little bit.
It's like a little crumb trail, right? You got just enough to like, oh, this is good.
But it's not enough to know that he's...
Yeah. It's not slices
Not
of
enough to
bread.
know that
It's
he's
just little crumbs.
Back to the Future.
Oh, another one that I remembered from a different article that wasn't on that one. Two things. I was like, that's incredible. Autocorrect was not a thing.
Autocorrect?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
the
when you
Simpsons-
like misspell a word on your phone and it
Oh,
fixes it.
I was thinking of a car for some reason.
No, that was predicted way before it happened on
Yeah.
The Simpsons.
Because weren't there not even iPads back then?
No.
And then on the show, they're like typing on an iPad and then it spells it wrong.
Yeah.
And autocorrects and it's like, God dang it, I didn't mean to spell that.
Yeah, and they also predicted smartwatches would be
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
Which is,
Watches.
it's not super far out there, but it's still a cool
Yeah.
prediction.
Yeah.
Well, then go ahead, Carson.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, those are ideas, like, you could come up with an idea and put it in your show, like, what if there was a camera that was really small or something?
Yep. But I wanted to bring up
It's
the
the
fact
inevitable.
that
Yeah.
what if there's got to be more predictions on there, like you said, that he hasn't gotten right. So what predictions are on there that possibly could become true, in the future? Because I've never watched The Simpsons, so I couldn't tell you like what predictions are actually on there that haven't become true yet.
Yeah,
But-
maybe it's all of them.
Yeah, maybe every
eventually
single
it'll
one
happen.
or every single one on that show will eventually come true later down the future. But yeah, definitely a crazy conspiracy.
Yeah, like I said, I bet there's a lot of inevitable stuff, like
Mm.
non-rippable pants. Like, obviously
Yeah.
they're going to make pants in the future that you can't rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or super efficient cars, that's like, yeah.
I don't know, do you want to put your money where your mouth is and make a guess that when we're old, they're going to say, wow, do you remember saying that this will become true?
That's a good idea. We should make some predictions right now.
Non-rippable pants.
Oh man,
What was that? Was that your arm?
those were my elbows.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I just straightened my.
I'm going to say that this isn't that far of a shock because I'm pretty sure they already kind of admitted that they're developing it. But I'm going to say there's going to be at some point Apple or something will produce where you walk into a room and your phone charges. Like if you're anywhere.
No, they already have that. Yeah, that's already.
I mean, I'm saying like widespread. Like it comes with your iPhone. Instead of like charging block and a cable, you get that.
Oh yeah,
At that
they've
point-
been trying to work on that.
At
for a
that
while.
point, you won't even like need a charging cable. If it's like the same thing as cellular data,
Yeah.
it's just like
And it gives you brain cancer. And
yeah. Then it comes out that it's frying people's legs in their sleep and that it's damaging their skin cells.
Yeah.
sometimes it's worth it.
Yeah.
So you don't run out of battery.
I could so see how that would work though. Like just
Yeah.
like like those portable like dog fences that you
Uh-huh.
put in your house, and then it's like like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of the same concept.
It is. Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
my
man.
That's
prediction.
Gage's prediction.
I'm gonna-
That's a good
I'm gonna
prediction.
say-
That's
I'm
a
gonna
good
say that.
prediction. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
of
I
it,
gotta
man.
think of something too.
One thing that I think could happen in the future is I think, and it's already started to happen, but I think it'll become more widespread and more popular, I guess, is, chips. So, if you, like, a lot of people do it in their dogs where they put a chip in their dog, and if they lose their dog, they can just pull it up on their phone and they can find. I think everybody will have a chip, and it'll be so futuristic that you can walk into a supermarket and you can like pull up on your chip, or like another thing that could happen is you have a screen that just pops up on like your shirt.
Forearm.
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, kinda, but it's like just like on the cloth of your shirt,
Uh-huh.
and you can like see like on your chip. Let's say you can put money on your chip, and then it's basically like carrying around a credit card, but it's just like in your hand or something.
Okay,
like that.
I'm not sure if you've seen this before, but there was a video of a guy who, after Apple Pay came out, he got a chip implanted in his hand,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
he goes-
everything that uses Apple Pay, he can tap it on a counter.
Well, no, I haven't seen that, but that's kind of what I was going for.
So
I think it'll be most widespread. Like you won't need your ID anymore. Like all that officer has to do. Let's say you get pulled over, he has to scan your chip. Boom, he's got everything that he knows about you that the government would know about you. I think that's kind of a direction that.
And
that
you
could
think
happen.
that'll be in the hand, not like on your head or your
Nope,
neck?
I think it'll be somewhere like in the wrist or on the hand, somewhere
Easy
easily
access.
Yeah,
You know?
easily to
Let me
scan.
just check you out real quick.
Yeah,
All
yeah, I
right.
think that's
My
what my prediction would
my
be.
prediction is a little lower, just because I was staring at the Borat poster over there. I think they're gonna make a second Borat movie.
I don't
I'll throw
think
that
so.
prediction out there.
Okay.
That's second Borat.
I think they're gonna make a new SpongeBob movie.
That's my very
That'd be good.
easy, very
They probably
low
don't
level
know. They
prediction.
don't even know what Borat is. You gotta explain.
I don't know. if
Just
there's
look
much-
it up. Just look.
You're gonna have to look it up. Borat.
It's either you like it or you don't.
Make sure that
No, a lot of people that don't like
if
it.
you're not easily offended, don't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you are easily offended, don't watch it. That's what it is. Because it is a little, it's definitely offensive.
I predict that after this show that a couple of T-shirts have been purchased from the Average Men's Club
Bingo.
website.
There you go.
There you go. Near future, maybe? I don't know.
All right, now it's come time to choose which prediction or which conspiracy theory out of the 4 originally presented is the most believable.
So we got Jackson's with is.
The Simpsons.
Is he a time
is
traveler?
predicting the future.
Yep.
Is he a time traveler or he can predict the future?
Predicting the future.
Alright, predict.
Okay. Mine would be, are there government officials that go around telling people they can't spread stories about UFOs or aliens?
Okay.
Sure.
And then mine would be the Indians capture them?
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Roanoke
Just,
Island.
we didn't even go through this. Maybe they... Okay, here's mine.
All right.
The colony at Roanoke Island, they
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to the U.S.
Mhm.
because they ran out of food on Roanoke Island. That's my prediction of what happened.
All right.
That's pretty believable. You don't have any food, you're not going to stay there. You're going to go.
And then mine was simply, are aliens real? Pretty broad, but it's simple enough you can answer it like either way.
Yeah.
Yes or no. I'm gonna go with the most believable. Oh God, it's hard. I'm gonna have to go with Jackson's. I'm gonna say that the writer of The Simpsons is unbelievable at predicting stuff,
Yeah.
and that he is either a time traveler or he's got just an unbelievable like superhuman ability to like predict.
Hmm.
Because it's the things he's done. If you look them all up, you would be shocked.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
I think I would just have to go with the fact that aliens are real. There's so much out there that
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to say that he can predict the future to the T, which he probably can, but I could almost tell you for a fact that there are aliens out there, so
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna
I'm
have
on the
to go
same
with.
page as Grant. I'm putting my chip on Gage's
Ooh.
prediction.
I don't know. Can we bet on ourselves?
Probably not.
That's what I want.
but yeah, bet on yourself if you want.
Well, okay.
It's
Well,
most
then,
believable.
then I'll switch it. Jackson's is crazy, but I that's why I picked my conspiracy theory. I believe it the most.
believable. All right.
It's the most believable in my opinion. That aliens are real.
You know, I would love to go with the aliens and the Men in Blacks and the extraterrestrial way to predict, but I'm just gonna have to go with the most believable to me. I think that the people went to the U.S. I mean, that's pretty believable that they rowed a boat a couple miles and made it to the States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
The conspiracy theory that you didn't know how it ended, so you
Exactly.
made it up.
Oh yeah, it's a conspiracy theory, all right?
Yeah, there you go.
There it
Either way,
is.
thank you guys for tuning into the Average Men's Club podcast. This is number 3. Number 4 hopefully will be out pretty soon to you all. Let us know if you like the podcast by giving a like on the YouTube channel, watching it on Apple Music, what we have, and
Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you haven't seen our new trailer with all of our new equipment, we got a lot of new stuff to show off. And like we said in that video, the podcast will remain mostly the same. It'll probably just keep being the 4 of us. We'll use the same mic, same setup, but the videos are going to be a lot better. And if you want to go check out some of our new merch, we featured that in that video too. So, yeah.
There you go. I think it just about wraps it up.